In a day and age when the sport of baseball is making or causing debate about major culture changes, it only makes sense that the mechanics of hitting are going through the same exact debate. The idea of an emphasis on launch angle and bat path is becoming more and more popularized as an approach to hitting. With the physics that are presented to back up this theory, it seems as if it would be a simple fix to maximize the potential of young hitters and mature hitters. Not to mention that many big leaguers like Cody Bellinger, your 2017 Rookie of the Year, Christian Yelich, a 2018 MVP, Bryce Harper, a 2018 All-Star, Aaron Judge, another All-Star, and stars like JD Martinez, the first player to win two Silver Sluggers in the same exact season at two different positions in 2018, it makes sense that this approach is the best way to teach a challenging art known as hitting. So here we see a chart of exactly what launch angle is. You see parallel with the ground is considered 0 degrees and progressively moves up to 25 degrees and 50 degrees. The following shaded zones show you where the barrel needs to hit the baseball at exit velocity of 60 miles an hour, 90, and 120. So ultimately, this is going to determine the trajectory at which the ball travels off the bat. And that's where you find that hot zone around 20 to 30 degrees where you'll hit the maximum amount of extra base hits and home runs. The ideal launch angle varies depending on the hitter, but it should be somewhere between 20 to 30 degrees for just about everyone. What this means is when the ball makes contact with the bat, it should come off the bat with an angle of 20 to 30 degrees, with the bat being parallel with the ground, which is considered to be 0 degrees. So to simplify this, it's a very wordy description, but the ball should come off the bat not too high and not too low to maximize how far it's going to go. The alternate method was the old teaching of hitting that I'm sure most people grew up learning all through Little League. This method focuses on more of a line drive approach. This means focusing on trying to get the ball to hit straight off the bat and continue in a straight line to the outfield. The perfect swing for this method results in a line drive single right up the middle. This method may result in lower strikeout rates and a higher batting average. While those things are good and they're good to keep in mind as a hitter, they don't necessarily translate to winning games, which is what everybody's trying to do as a hitter. They want to help their team win. So this method leads to a lack in power, and it takes a lot of skill and some luck to string nothing but singles together to knock in a bunch of runs. However, when the launch angle method is adopted, more doubles, triples, and home runs allow for those crooked innings where you put up 2, 3, 4, sometimes even more runs, where the offense can get mass production and ultimately help teams win games. The science behind the launch angle method is what makes it so effective. It is simply physics. A ball that is hit with the same exit velocity will travel further depending on the angle at which it is hit. If the launch angle is too high, the result will be a high fly ball that will easily be caught by the infielders or outfielders. If the launch angle is too low, the result will be a ground ball. While a ground ball can still have a quality chance of being a hit, it is impossible to hit a home run on the ground. So if a ball is hit between those two extremes, the result will be a line drive or a deep fly ball. And these results have a good chance of not only being hits, but also being extra base hits that will allow the offense to plate more runs and collect more total bases over the span of games. There are plenty of statistics to prove the effectiveness of launch angle as a superior way of looking at the mechanics of hitting. When collecting data from a major league team, it was revealed that different launch angles led to different outcomes despite all of those having the same or similar exit velocity and bat speed. Now the balls hit with launch angle between 10 to 14 degrees led to a team batting average of 763, which is unbelievable. That's insanely good. However, it led to a minuscule 3 home runs. Stepping up at a launch angle of 15 to 19 degrees, the results were a 610 batting average and an increase to 237 home runs. That sounds a lot better, but it progresses more. At 20 to 24 degrees, batting average was still a whopping 529 and with 1,294 home runs. Move up a little bit more at 25 to 29 degrees, batting average was dropping to 424, which is still incredible, and a whopping 1,718 home runs. So we're maximizing that power. At a launch angle of 30 to 34 degrees, average dropped to a pedestrian 277. However, there were still 1,035 home runs. And then everything from 35 degrees and above yielded a batting average below 152, and home runs dropped as well. So that hot zone is between the 20 to 30 degree mark. It produces an elite batting average without compensating for any of that power numbers that the ground balls led to a lack of. This combination is what makes hitters in the MLB so elite, and it's what allows for the most home runs while having the next level average as well. After discussing these statistics, I'd like to tell you the story of Christian Yelich. Yelich started his career in 2013 with the Miami Marlins. He was always considered an underrated, under-the-radar kind of player. And the reason he was always considered underrated was because he couldn't hit with MVP caliber power. Yelich never put up more than 21 home runs throughout his time with Miami until 2017. Yelich was then shipped to Milwaukee for his 2018 campaign. He proceeded to put up a season where he would win his first MVP award while keeping his average just as consistent, if not better than it was in Miami. Yelich smacked a whopping 36 home runs. Anything over 30 home runs constitutes an elite power hitter in the MLB. Yelich is currently tied with Cody Bellinger, another advocate for launch angle, with 14 home runs after about a month of play. This is a new record for the fastest power start to a season in all of MLB's history. So what changed for Yelich? Sure, he probably trained hard, probably got bigger, stronger, and faster. However, he had been doing this his whole career. So the true secret to the new Yelich is his mechanics. Yelich used to have a launch angle that was rather parallel to the ground, sort of that line drive approach that we were talking about. However, now he is known for his elite mastering of the launch angle method. Now the next guys I want to talk about are the real deal. So the launch angle method of hitting is becoming more and more popular among the highest level of play. It is practiced as the primary way of hitting in the MLB. Many colleges at all divisions 1, 2, and 3 also preach this method. Even some high school level schools are teaching young hitters to adopt this method. If the best players in the world believe this is the best way to hit a baseball, shouldn't it be adopted at all levels? If we take a look at the 2016 World Series champions, the Chicago Cubs, the guys who broke the curse, manager Joe Maddon talks about their hitting philosophy being about exit speed and launch angle. And as a result of this focus, the Cubs' explosive offense led the league in home runs and other offensive categories to help them win a championship. High school assistant coach Glenn Caroline talks about his point of view on launch angle. He believes that it should be taught slightly different to the lower levels because of their coordination and level of understanding. However, he is a believer of the fact that launch angle is the key to unlocking hidden power. He values launch angle, ball flight, and exit velocity. However, he believes that the line drive approach should be adopted when a hitter has 2 strikes. This way, they are more likely to limit the strikeouts and put the ball in play, which is ultimately what you want to do at that level. That's how you compete at those lower levels. You make the defense make plays. There are many different philosophies and approaches to the art of hitting. It is not a perfect science due to the fact that hitting is so difficult that someone could fail 7 out of 10 times and still be considered a Hall of Famer. However, the sources and the statistics, they all show that the better the launch angle, the better the results. I'm Drew Caroline. Thank you for your time.